Right, to the left is a John Deere 3640. There's a Super Major, Fortune Major there. County 1164, so that's probably Ford. There's a John Deere 5010. We go a bit further round, we see a Ferguson along with another Fortune Major. If we look over here, we see a Ford Granada. There's a couple of Fordsons, Super Majors with a Land Rover Defender in front of it. There's another Super Major. There's a Super Major and probably an Alice Chalmers. If we look around here, we see a Fortune Major sitting beside a, what is it, an International. Ferguson up there. Right, we see another couple of steam engines here. Got an Invicta by Aveling and Porter. And it looks like a traction engine. Looks like a Fordson Super Major coming past. Definitely a non-standard engine. If we look here, we see another barrel. That's one called Prince, and it's another traction engine. Next to a John Deere tractor with a log timber making bit of equipment here. There's the barrel. Go over here, we now see a Nuffield Universal with a BMC diesel sitting next to an Alice Chalmers. Yeah, so there's a couple of Alice Chalmers. Ferguson, and next to that's a Ford TW20. Looks like a Ransom's tractor. Equal thing compared with that. And there's a miniature baling machine, thrashing machine, and a miniature McCormick. See how that operates. Right, we're gonna move on a bit now because we see a John Deere. I'm not sure what this one is, so I'm going to have a closer look. Let's say John Deere. They crossed out what it is. Another Battleship Grey Fergie, TE20 I think. Let's have a look. Doesn't say. Fortune Major diesel. Another Ferguson alongside another Fortune Major. It seems they've rearranged this bit. Over there's a miniature Foden with Harvey and Sons Lewis. Quite a well-known brewery. Ferguson 6170 there. Looks like here's a couple of Fortune Majors, one's a Super Major. So we have a little look here. A miniature tractor of some kind, and there's some agricultural stuff here. Would have been used with market gardening, and chances are there's modern versions of these being used at a tomato growing place that I know of in Kent. And who I always look out for when I go shopping for tomatoes. I won't say who, but They're in Kent. If we look up here at a Fordson Model N in green, so it's probably a wartime model, or painted up as a wartime model. There's a David Brown on a Caterpillar type thing. Look at that. Seems we've found a couple of classic cars. So there's a P5B just around here. Next to that's a Ford Granada, 3 litre. Let's swing around here. There's some sort of musical instrument. And it's apparently run on air, so it's pneumatically powered in some way. But back to the cars, there's a Ram 1500. Here's a Ford Mustang 289. Tune seems to have got stuck. There's a Ford pickup. Right, so if we have a look at the interior, ooh, lovely. Even more lovely is the engine. Obviously, let's stick Detroit there. Yeah, so it's a Ford pickup. Ranchero. I forgot. How did I forget that was a Ranchero? So it's similar to, I don't know what reg this is, because there was one that featured on Roadkill, on a series called Roadkill, and they tried to take it to Alaska and eventually got to Alaska, but it wasn't very good in the snow. But if we look to the right, it's a Ford Mustang, probably a Mach 1. If we look down here, there's a Chevrolet Apache pickup. Well, the Americans call them trucks, the Australians call them utes. I'm going to have a quick look down here because that looks like a Ford Corsair. Actually, once I've done this bit, there's a pond behind there. Always be careful with deep water, people. There's deep water behind there, always be careful with it. And it seems I've just found another couple of tractors to look at. There's a Massey Ferguson 65 with a roll hoop. Some tractors came with roll hoops. There's one with a roll hoop. There's a Ferguson called Wendy. Another Ferguson next to it in rust coloured. There's a John Deere 2030. If we look up here, we see a Minneapolis Moline. Seen this one before. Next to a Trantor. 1983. Here's a couple of, there's a Ford 2000 and a Ford 6610 sitting next to a Case 165, I think it's Puma. There's a Jeep there. There's another Ferguson over there, a couple of Landies. And I think I'm just going to shut down a minute so I don't overheat the battery.